So from time to time we get messages from scan tool users and they ask, why is my warning light not turning off despite having tried to reset it with a diagnostic scan tool? And I think there are three main reasons why your warning light will not turn off, and we're going to cover them in this video. So let's say, for example, you've got an airbag light, just for argument's sake. You can buy a scan tool, you try to reset the fault codes, but nothing happens. The airbag light stays on or turns off for a few seconds and then comes back on. Why exactly is that happening? Okay, so we've got three theories. Let's get into number one. Now, the first theory about why you can't reset your warning light with a scan tool is because you haven't physically fixed anything. Okay, now these tools, they are not magic pills, let's say. You can't just assume that you can hook up one of these tools to the diagnostic port of your vehicle, go through the menu system and reset the warning light that you want. Very, very few times that will happen. It will only happen generally if you've, say, got an intermittent fault and it keeps going away, coming back, but you can reset it. If it's an intermittent fault, fair enough, but eventually somewhere down the line, it's probably going to come back eventually. So you really need to analyze those fault codes. You know, these tools, they will give you a unique fault code, a description of the fault. And even if you don't necessarily know what that means, put the information into a Google search engine, because I can guarantee that if you're getting these fault codes and descriptions, somebody else, somewhere else in the world has had them as well. The answer, I guarantee you, will be online. You're not the only one, trust me, but just don't assume that you can buy one of these, reset it like that, and then be good to go. That's just not how it works, unfortunately. Okay, so the second theory about why your scan tool is not resetting the warning light is basically that your scan tool is not up to the job. It doesn't have the correct capabilities. And what do I mean by that? There are a lot of cheap scan tools on the market, okay? Sometimes you can get them for 10, 15, 20 pounds. But unfortunately, those scan tools have very limited capabilities, okay? So generally, the cheaper scan tools are only gonna cover the engine system, and it's gonna reset the check engine light, which is great if you've got a check engine light, but in our case, we've got an airbag light. So how can a tool which only has engine capabilities find the airbag system and reset the airbag system on a vehicle? The answer is it simply can't. So what you need to be making sure you're doing before you're buying a tool is making sure that it has the correct capabilities for the system in which you wish to diagnose and reset. So as I say, we've got an airbag light. You need to find a scan tool which has airbag capabilities, which will allow you to diagnose that system and reset that system. Okay, so if you are maybe unsure about which tool to go for, and you want to obviously make sure you're getting a tool which does have the correct capabilities for the system that you want to reset, I'll pop the email address in the description below this video, and you can email us and we can check for you to see and give you a recommendation about which tool is going to be best for your needs. All right, so the third theory for this video is that maybe you have got the correct tool. Maybe it does have airbag capabilities. Maybe you have physically fixed a part, maybe fixed a wiring loom somewhere along the line. However, the tool is still not resetting the warning light and the warning light is still not turning off, okay? When you're looking for parts to replace, it can be very easy to go for the cheapest parts. Back in the day, we've been doing diagnostics for about 15 years now. When we first started doing this, we did get involved a little bit with kind of cheaper sensors like ABS sensors, camshaft, crankshaft, MAF sensors, O2 sensors, and we used to sell those. But the amount of complaints that came back against those tools, because they were cheap, they were made in China, they just weren't up to the job. The amount of complaints, returns we got on those parts was absolutely insane. So we just instantly stopped selling them because we were selling a product which was not very good. And it was causing a lot of headaches for people because they were saying, well, hang on, I've changed the part, I've put the new part in, it's still not resetting the warning light. So I think there's probably a lot of that at play. And there's a lot to be said for going down the line of getting a genuine main dealer part. Yes, the main dealers generally do have a bit of a reputation for being just that little bit more expensive, but it's the price you pay to get a genuine part that is going to work on your vehicle, and the ECU is going to accept that part, and the tool is ultimately going to accept that part and allow you to reset the warning light. And one more thing to add is that the ethics of diagnostics is exactly the same. It doesn't matter if you've got a £100 tool or a £9,000 tool. The ethics of diagnostics are exactly the same. So if your £100 tool won't reset it, the £9,000 tool won't reset it. So ultimately, you need to be making sure that you've actually physically fixed the part, fixed whatever the fault is, but ultimately also diagnosing it with a tool which has those capabilities, which will allow you to reset it once you've fixed the correct part. And over all of this, I would say the one thing to remember is that if you're using a tool and it won't reset the warning light, okay, the ECU, which is the main brain of the computer, is simply not happy that that problem has been fixed correctly. So you need to start investigating other avenues. Like I say, is it the right tool? Is it the right part? Is it a cheap China part? Or have you not connected something back together properly? Ultimately, there is 100% a reason why your airbag light will not reset. But I will put our recommendation for this manufacturer in the description below this video, and hopefully it will give you the tool that you need to do the resets on your vehicle. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope this helps.